What's up, guys? I got the case backhoe to help me lift this tank up. Got the strap around it. Got it all strapped up. I'm gonna lift it and move it out to at least set it. I'm gonna set it by the hole, that way I can have it ready. I'll dig my hole out and then dig the tank hole out, get it ready, and that way I can just lift it and set it in there and get it in place and go from there. I figure it weighs about between 800 and 1,000 pounds. It doesn't feel too heavy. I do have a load of dirt in my front bucket for counterweight. That should be alright. Got it low to the ground just in case the straps bust. I won't crack all my hard work won't go down the drain. Alright, so I got the tank hole ready. The bottom of the tank hole, I got it leveled up. I use a laser to level it. So I'm going to lift it up and set it in place. Go from there. So the tank was facing the wrong direction, so I put a twist in that strap and as I lift it, I'm hoping it's going to spin perfectly. There we go. That's how we need it. The outlet side facing us. I think if I curl the bucket, I can get it to straighten up. Or not. Pretty good right there, the way it is. I'll go down there and check it out. If I need to move it a little bit, I can lift it up a hair, and with the shovel I can move it to the left or the right, or I'll check to see if it's level right there where it's at. So I had to lift it up one more time and center it in the tank hole. It was off a little bit left to right, but I got it pretty level now. It's got about a 1/4 inch fall toward the outlet side. I can live with that. Just gonna try and throw a little bit of dirt around the tank. try and back out of here. It's gonna be kind of tight. I have some dry dirt that I'm gonna fill that I'm gonna fill it back with and get rid of all that mud that's got. Kind of smells more like grease from the sinks. Try not to get any dirt, any of the mud inside the tank. I can squeeze out of there now. Alright, so that's what I got so far. Now you gotta remember, this is just for a sink. It's just for a sink drain. It's personal use. But I went from a 2 to 4. I'm pretty much just using the materials I have because I don't want to spend a whole bunch of extra money on this system, because we might not even be using it for more than a year, but I'm using what I have. So I found a 2 to 4 increaser, and then I had to put but that's schedule 40 to SDR 35, so I had to put a reducer. A bushing that goes from 40 to 35. So I have a bushing in there that reduces it, so I can put that SDR 35 solid in the schedule 40 cup increaser. And then I just 45'd it, and then I just used the regular SDR 35 two-way clean out. I 45'd it. Normally it would come, the two-way clean out would be straight with the pipe coming out of the house, but I think it's better if I put the 45 and then the two-way clean out. That way if I ever have a clog, I can snake it toward the house and then snake it back this way toward the tank. But all I'm going to do there is, I haven't glued that 45 on that solid pipe yet, because I want to get the right angle. I'm pretty much just eyeballing it. It's pretty simple. But I'm going to cut a piece of solid pipe to come out to about right here, and then 45 it right into the inlet. I tapped out that piece I had in here, because I'd rather have one solid pipe versus putting the coupling here to tie into the other pipe. So I took this pipe out. Luckily it slid out. It's a pretty tight fit. That's good, that we won't have no leaks. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a solid pipe here, 45 it right into that two-way clean out, put my TY in there, and be good to go. Alright, so I built it up with some good dirt around the pipe. All that's pretty much glued already. The 45, the two-way clean out, that pipe up here, that's just there, so I won't get no dirt in there. It's not glued yet. This 45 here, I glued that. That's glued. Normally I would glue that last. Normally I would put it on this pipe first. That way I could, you know, that way when I go to glue it to this pipe, this pipe will still spin. But there's not very much play in this pipe. It's pretty tight. So the only thing I can do is go forward and back. So that's glued. So I'll just prime that, glue it, and tap it from inside the tank out. And go from there. Alright, so I got my T in there in the tank. Like I said, I'm not gonna add a piece to the bottom here. On the outlet side I will. But as far as the inlet side, that's how it's gonna stay. That's already fully connected there. Alright, so they turn on the sink water inside. Told it to run hot water. It's just a sink drain, ain't much water gonna be coming out. Pretty good. Now we gotta work on the outlet side. Okay, so now we're gonna work on the outlet side. We need somewhere for the water, the effluent to travel, to be stored. So we're gonna put a lateral line right in here. Probably gonna go about 3 to 4 feet wide. And we come out about, I want to say about 12 to 15 feet. There's a bed system right in here with pipe and gravel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie that outlet into here. I'll put its own, I'll come out about 3 feet, and then I'll start the trench, a pipe and gravel trench 4 feet wide, and then I'll cap it. But I'll continue with the gravel to butt up to the existing bed that's already installed here in the ground, and the water will still travel through the gravel. So in other words, it's gonna use its own lateral line first. If it ever for some reason, you know how when we get the freezing weather and we gotta leave the sink drains on, if this lateral line fills up, it'll fill this lateral line up first, and then it'll travel into the bed system. It'll overflow into it as a backup system. So that's the plan. Well, I know it's working. My wife didn't waste no time. So I'm starting to dig this lateral line. I believe there's a water line in here somewhere. I'm sure I'll find it. If there is, I'm gonna have to reroute it. But this is what I mean by. Generally my lateral line would come straight, but I want to stay away from this building. I'm able to curve that pipe a little bit. So I'm going to come out with a solid pipe about 3 feet, then I'll start my lateral line 4 feet wide, curve it back this way. I'm going to hand dig this here to see if I find the end of that bed system. That way I don't damage these pipes. Alright, so we gotta hurry because we're filling up fast. Alright, so I'm gonna explain this. So from my tank coming out, it's about 4 feet. That's a solid pipe. You never want to put your perforated directly to your tank. You always want to have a dry space in between here. So like I said, this is different from a septic system. So I'm only gonna go 3 or 4 feet solid, and I'm gonna put a 22 here, and then I'll connect my perforated pipes in this trench here. I already have it dug out. So on the end here, remember I told you about the old lateral lines? They're not old lateral, it's the existing lateral lines that aren't being used. So I found the corner of it there. You can see it has a gravel in the fabric. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cap this pipe right here where it's at. This pipe here is gonna be, that's where it's gonna go. And I already have my measurement from here to here. I'm gonna cut it, glue those two together, put my 22. I don't like using 22s here, but it's got that 22 angle. I gotta have it. So I'm gonna explain how I did this. The outlet side, the bottom of that outlet to the trench is a minimum of 12 inches. You can go a little deeper, that's fine, but a minimum of 12 inches. From the bottom of the outlet to the top of the trench, the bottom of your trench, it's 12 inches difference. Then I came out this way. On this situation, this will work. It's kind of like a bulkhead system, but the opposite. On a conventional system, it'll come up in a 45 down into another lateral line. It's a 6-inch. I want to say 6 inches difference from the top of the pipe to your 45. But this, we're going to do it completely different. So the way this is going to work is going to be filled with gravel here. I was only able to get about 8 to 10 feet, 8 feet here. So the water's going to come into your pipe. It's going to travel through your perforated pipe, fall into your gravel. It's going to utilize all this area first. As you can see, it goes up about 6 inches. So I made sure from my outlet side, once it's connected to where the pipe's going to lay flat on the ground there, it's completely level, so that I'm at the right height here. So what's going to happen is it's going to utilize all this area first. Once it starts to get overfilled or overused, it's going to continue. It's going to seep up. It's going to stop here, and but it's going to continue going to the perforated pipe. Because see how the holes are? The holes will be on the sides like that. Not this one, this one. So then, once this fills up with gravel, the water fills up here, it's going to come up. And it's going to have no choice but to continue on through this pipe. It's going to continue onto this pipe. At the end of this pipe, I'm going to put a cap. Got the cap there. I'm going to cap it. So once the water gets to this end over here, it'll be capped off. So it'll have no choice but to come up to the perforated holes on the bottom. Then it's going to fill this cavity here. It's about a 3 foot in diameter. It's going to fill this. I'm going to fill all this up with gravel. And it's going to naturally flow into the existing system. So that's how that's going to work. Trust me, it's going to work. Alright, so that water level's coming up. The only thing that's left to do is put the T on the outlet side. Got my solid pipe. Got all my gravel in. From this 45 to the end, it's level. I have dropped from the outlet to the 45. This is just for gray water, so it's not too picky as far as drop, but have at least, you need a minimum of 12 inches of gravel. I have about 18 inches, more the better. Here's the end of the lateral line. Got all my fabric in. Now it's time to cover it up.